The following program contains images of an actual surgical procedure that may be graphic and disturbing. Parents are advised that these images may not be suitable for young children.
I'm Dr. Carrie Aseel, and this is Ivy League. We've gathered some of the top expert doctors and surgeons in their field to come together and tackle some of the most unique and complex problems in modern medicine today.
Our next guest was only 16 years old when his life changed in an instant, and unfortunately, he's been living in severe pain ever since.
I was driving with two of my friends, and as we came around a corner, a drunk driver swerved and hit us head on, and my back was broken in 5 places.
Since then, Tom has had 19 different surgical procedures on his back. Imagine that. Tom has been in excruciating pain for 30 years.
It's hard. It's hard to do some days. And there are days that I have to lie in bed all day because it's so painful. I just can't get out of bed.
I miss the man that I married.
I want to be a husband. I want to be a provider. I want my life back. There is no relief. I've gotten to the point I am sick and tired of taking pain pills. I don't like how they make me feel. I don't want to take them anymore.
We need a concise plan to get him off of this medication. We have to bring in the best of the best. Pain specialist, Dr. Vahidafar, and spine specialist, Dr. Bae. Dr. Bae, tell me what's going on with Tom's back.
At this point, there's really not much I can do to repair the spine. Our goal right now is pain management.
So what are our options at controlling his pain?
What I want to do is do a targeted delivery system of medication directly into the spine. Put a catheter in his back, and this pump will start pumping medication in. But there's a problem.
What's the problem?
Normally, we would be able to access the spinal column in this natural space between the two vertebral bodies that everybody has. But after 19 surgeries and being fused, he basically has 1.5 inches of bone from here all the way down here with no space available.
There's got to be a way to get in.
I need to drill a hole right over the spinal cord and then allow Dr. Vahidafar to place a catheter in.
And then what I'll do is run the catheter up the spinal column and then put a pouch here to put the reservoir in. We'll tunnel that catheter underneath the skin and close everything up.
Imagine having to drill through 1.5 inches of bone and stop just shy of something as delicate as a spinal cord. There's going to be one shot at this. We simply can't fail him.
Tom obviously was desperate for answers, and after having failed 19 surgeries, he turned to the Ivy League for help.
Tom is living a life of pain, and we're going to try to help him out with that pain by implanting a pain pump, which is really a way of delivering highly concentrated pain medications directly into the injured spine.
It breaks my heart to see him in pain. I hope that he finally, after 30 years, eliminates some of his pain.
This is a CT of Tom's spine. These are all screws and these are the rods. All that white material that looks like cement is basically bone. This is normally where you wouldn't have bone. So it really, for Dr. Vahidafar to deliver this catheter through this area, we're going to have to drill through this bone and make sure that we stop right before we get to the area of the nerves. So we're starting to make the incision. Okay, and this is what we're going to have to drill through. This is just solid bone.
While Dr. Bae is doing the area where the catheter is going, I'm going to open up the pocket and make an incision where that pump is going to go.
And now we're going to start drilling. Yeah, I'm getting very, very close to the access point that we need. Okay, let's bring the microscope in. We're basically drilling down 0.5 millimeter at a time.
You there?
Yeah, we're there. So just punch the membrane. So at this point we have the catheter right against the nerves of the spinal cord.
So we're just taking the needle out and the catheter is inside.
Now we have a direct connection right to the brain itself. We're now going to tunnel this catheter over to this pump.
Into the pocket here. So now we're going to attach the catheter to the pump. We're going to put the pump inside the pocket. So we're tucking in the device.
So now we've placed the pump. We're going to close both incisions and then the procedure will be done.
Please welcome Dr. Vahidafar, Dr. Bae, and Dr. Aseel to the show. And Tom's case, of course, proves that not everything in medicine, Dr. Seal, is straightforward.
Very true. Tom's case underscores what can happen when you bring incredible surgeons who have passion, compassion, and commitment under a single umbrella.
And Dr. Vahedafar, normally in a case like this, you wouldn't need to have 2 doctors involved, but because of the previous spinal fusion, you had to get Dr. Bae involved in this case.
Correct. Normally, with doing a pain pump, there's access into the spine. When I did a test run of the medication, I had to go through a small opening in his tailbone because the other access points were gone. And that's when I turned to Dr. Bae to see if he could find a way surgically to access the spine so we could put the catheter.
So you felt confident this pain pump might provide a lot of relief. So then, Dr. Bae, as a spine surgeon, how did you determine where that access point was going to be?
After looking at the scans, there's no question that his whole spine is encased in bone after 19 surgeries. But there's an access point between the hardware, between the screws up his upper back and in his lower back. And really, after I looked at that access point, even though it has about 1.5 inches of bone between the spinal cord and the surface, I thought that we could get in there. Even though this is somewhat risky, I thought that that would be the safest access point for Tom.
And so you have the catheter there, Dr. Vahedafar. Show that to us, if you would.
So this is the catheter that we use to put into the spine. It's a flexible tube, and it's put up into the spine through the port that Dr. Bae opened up. And once it got into the spine, it delivers medication into the spinal fluid that surrounds the spinal cord itself. And when doing that, you're getting a fraction of the medication that you're required orally to give, with a fraction of the side effects, and with much better response.
Basically, it's the purest way of delivering medication to the brain.
You're treating pain without necessarily causing the side effects that we know Tom was so much experiencing. Here's the good news. Tom is actually feeling much better. He and his wife, Diana, join us now via Polycom. And Tom, first thing I saw there, I saw a smile, which I did not see before the procedure. So is that smile for the cameras or is that genuine?
No, that's 100% genuine. And I can honestly say it was about a week ago was the first day that I woke up and did not take a pain pill in 32 years.
And this for you, Tom, I know it's about quality of life. I heard the story that your son is actually a golfer, and now you are so excited because you can actually go see him golf for the first time.
Absolutely right. My son's 18 years old, and I've tried to watch him in tournaments in the past, and even in a golf cart, it's just painful. After the first 2 or 3 holes, I have to call it a day. And I know he would always be really disappointed when he'd see me leave. So I'm very hopeful and optimistic that I'll get back out there with him.
And Diana, can I ask you how this has changed your relationship?
It's a miracle. He's a different man. He looks better. He's not in pain. He's happier. We're happier. We get to do normal things again. We're really looking forward to playing tennis, traveling, and doing some of the normal things that families get to do.
Well, we are just so happy that you had this wonderful outcome. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And,
thank you.
Well, a true success story. And docs, I think it highlights, every case is unique. Not every case is straightforward, but finding the right answer is the key. You all changed his life, so thank you for doing what you do and for joining us today. The Ivy League, y'all. We'll be right back.
Coming up next, why you should never ignore those little lumps and bumps that grow on your body.
The first thing that doctor said was we have to find out if it's cancer.
And later,
what is one of the simplest, most enjoyable things you can do to prolong your life?
Find out how to live longer when we reveal today's doctor's prescription. That's later